What exactly pushed Bannerjii to swap his keyboard for a star chart?
Well, his bio mentions achieving very good results in his astrology practice while still in IT.
While still in IT?
Yeah.
Oh.
People were clearly resonating with his reading, even more so than traditional KP astrology.
Interesting.
And this is where his subdivisional system comes into play.
Subdivisional system. So he's a master chef with a well-stocked pantry of astrological tools. He might not use every spice in every dish.
Right.
But his knowledge of each ingredient makes him a more skilled cook overall. We've got his background, his unique take on KP astrology, but what about his teaching style? How does it compare to other KP astrology teachers out there? Is it super technical or more accessible to beginners? Are there any testimonials or success stories out there?
Unfortunately, our sources don't include specific feedback from students.
Okay.
However, the fact that he's taught over 5,000 students speaks volumes.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like that trendy new restaurant with a line out the door. So we've journeyed from Bannerjii's fascinating career chef to the intricacies of his KP astrology system and pondered the impact of his teaching. Ever heard of someone going from like debugging code to decoding the cosmos?
Intriguing.
That's the path of Joyy Bannerjii.
Okay.
Our subject for today's deep dive. We've got a stack of articles and course descriptions all about this Acharya.
Acharya.
Yeah, that's a teacher in Sanskrit
Interesting.
and his fascinating world of Vedic astrology, KP astrology, Law-Kitab, numerology, the works.
You know what's fascinating is that Bannerjii spent over 20 years as an IT consultant.
Really?
Yeah, for big companies before making this pretty drastic career change.
Wow.
And get this, he now boasts over 5,000 students in these systems.
That's wild. From Silicon Valley to the stars,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Exactly.
So for those of us not fluent in celestial lingo, could you give us a quick breakdown of these systems?
Sure.
We know Vedic astrology is ancient Indian, right?
Right.
But what makes KP astrology different?
Right.
And how do these other systems like Law-Kitab fit in?
Okay, so think of Vedic astrology like the original recipe. KP astrology, developed in the 20th century, is a variation that blends in Western techniques for a more precise, calculation-heavy approach. It emphasizes using exact planetary positions and a unique subdivisional system for making predictions.
Okay, I'm getting a sense of precision here.
Yeah.
And what about Law-Kitab? Is it a totally different flavor?
It is distinct, yes.
Okay.
Law-Kitab focuses on remedies and practical solutions,
Interesting.
often using everyday objects and rituals to harmonize planetary influences.
Interesting. So we have the ancient wisdom of Vedic astrology,
Right.
the precision of KP astrology,
Yes.
and the practicality of Law-Kitab.
Uh-huh.
And Bannerjii's an expert in all of them.
That's right.
Wow.
His website,
Okay.
Vedic-Astro,
I think I cast rhyme.
offers courses in each of these systems, and even specialized courses within KP astrology itself,
Really?
like one on KP hit theory.
KP hit theory.
Yeah, which suggests a deeper level of expertise.
Now that sounds intriguing. I'm already sensing a mystery unfolding here.
Huh.
What exactly pushed Bannerjii to swap his keyboard for a star chart?
Well, his bio mentions achieving very good results in his astrology practice while still in IT.
While still in IT?
Yeah.
Oh.
People were clearly resonating with his readings. And it seems passion, combined with that early success, led him to make the leap.
That's quite a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Couldn't his precision in KP astrology stem from years of working with complex systems and data in the IT world? It makes you wonder if his tech background gives him a unique advantage.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But it's also worth considering that his precision could come from deep immersion in the astrological systems themselves.
Sure.
Maybe his IT background just gave him the analytical skills to grasp those complex systems quickly.
That's a great point. It's like someone with a knack for languages picking up a new one with ease.
Yeah.
But let's not get sidetracked.
Okay.
What makes his KP astrology teachings truly stand out? Does he weave in elements from Law-Kitab or numerology, creating a kind of astrological fusion?
You've hit upon one of the central questions we'll be exploring today.
Well,
Let's dive into the specifics of his KP astrology system and see what clues we can uncover.
awesome. Let's do it.
All right, let's unpack what makes Bannerjii's KP Astrology tick.
Okay.
Remember, KP Astrology already blends Western and Eastern techniques. But Bannerjii seems to take that fusion a step further.
Okay, color me intrigued. What's he doing differently?
He places a huge emphasis on using ultra-precise planetary positions.
Okay.
Even more so than traditional KP astrology.
Interesting.
And this is where his subdivisional system comes into play.
Subdivisional system.
Yeah, imagine a zodiac pie chart.
Okay.
Vedic astrology divides it into 12 slices, the signs.
All right.
KP astrology cuts those slices into smaller pieces for finer predictions.
Okay.
Bannerjii's system takes those pieces and dices them up even further.
So it's like going from a whole pizza,
Yes.
individual slices, to tiny bite-sized pieces. Each bite giving you a super specific flavor.
Precisely.
Wow.
This allows for incredibly granular predictions, pinpointing events and timings with more accuracy.
Okay.
And you know, this meticulousness reminds me of his IT background.
Right.
Maybe that analytical, detail-oriented approach naturally carries over into his astrology.
That's a compelling connection. It's like he's applied the principles of coding and algorithms to the cosmic code of the stars.
Yeah.
But what about Lakitab and numerology? Does he blend those into his KP astrology practice, creating a sort of astrological fusion cuisine?
That's where things get a bit murky.
Murky, how so?
Well, while he offers separate courses on those systems,
Okay.
it's unclear if he directly integrates them into his KP astrology teachings. He might treat them as distinct tools, each offering a unique perspective on planetary influences.
So he's a master chef with a well-stocked pantry of astrological tools. He might not use every spice in every dish,
Right.
but his knowledge of each ingredient makes him a more skilled cook overall.
A brilliant analogy.
Thanks.
And that's what makes Bannerjii so intriguing. We see a potential for these different systems to interplay in his practice, even if subtly.
Interesting.
It adds layers of depth to his approach.
This is fascinating. We've got his background, his unique take on KP astrology, but what about his teaching style? How does it compare to other KP astrology teachers out there? Is it super technical or more accessible to beginners?
Well, while our sources don't have direct comparisons, we can glean some insights.
Okay.
His courses are all online, suggesting a degree of flexibility and accessibility, judging by the course titles.
Okay.
He seems to break down complex concepts into digestible modules.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't go from leading IT projects to teaching without knowing how to structure information effectively.
Right.
It's like he's taken project management principles and applied them to ancient wisdom.
Exactly. This
Right.
could be incredibly appealing to students, especially those from tech backgrounds who are used to that logical, structured approach.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder,
That's that.
does this streamlined style sacrifice some depth for the sake of accessibility? It's a question worth pondering.
It's a classic trade-off.
Yeah.
The in-depth scholarly textbook versus the engaging, easy-to-read popular science book. Both have their place. It just depends on what the reader's looking for.
Right.
But enough speculation on our part.
Okay.
What are people saying about Bannerjii's courses?
Wow.
Are his students seeing results with his methods? Are there any testimonials or success stories out there?
Unfortunately, our sources don't include specific feedback from students.
Okay.
However, the fact that he's taught over 5,000 students speaks volumes.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like that trendy new restaurant with a line out the door.
Uh-huh.
You figure the food must be pretty good if so many people are clamoring to try it.
Right.
But with anything like astrology, there are bound to be skeptics.
Of course.
It's not exactly a field known for its empirical evidence.
Absolutely. And skepticism is healthy. It's crucial to approach any system, especially one that claims to offer predictions about your life with a discerning mind.
Yeah.
We have to remember that astrology, even with its precise calculations, is not a crystal ball.
Okay.
It's a tool for understanding potential influences, not a guarantee of specific outcomes.
Right. It's like checking the weather forecast.
Exactly.
It helps you prepare, but it doesn't dictate your day.
Right.
You wouldn't blame the meteorologist for a sudden downpour. And you shouldn't expect astrology to magically solve all your problems.
Exactly.
It's all about perspective and using these tools wisely.
Precisely. Whether you're a firm believer or a curious skeptic, the real value lies in using these systems for self-discovery, making informed decisions, and navigating life's challenges with a bit more awareness.
Well said. So we've journeyed from Bannerjii's fascinating career shift to the intricacies of his KP astrology system and pondered the impact of his teachings. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to that thought-provoking question you raised earlier. Could Bannerjii's approach be a bridge between the traditional and the modern in the world of astrology?
It's an intriguing idea, isn't it?
It is.
He's clearly rooted in the ancient wisdom of Vedic astrology, but he's also embracing modern techniques and a data-driven approach that likely resonates with today's audience.
Yeah.
And his online teaching style certainly reflects a modern sensibility.
It's like he's created the Silicon Valley of Vedic astrology, bringing ancient wisdom to the digital age.
Yeah.
But it also begs the question,
Oh, what's that?
does this streamlining make these ancient systems more accessible, or does it risk oversimplifying them? It's a delicate balance.
Here.
Okay, I'm starting to see both sides of this coin.
Yeah.
Bannerjii's approach could be viewed as modernizing an ancient system, making it more palatable for a tech-savvy audience. But could that accessibility come at the cost of diluting the deeper, more esoteric aspects of Vedic astrology?
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, we can't definitively answer it based on the sources we have.
Yeah.
It would be fascinating to hear from his students.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like what drew them to his teachings, and how has learning from him impacted their understanding of astrology.
I agree. It's like reading reviews for that new restaurant. Are people raving about the innovative dishes?
Yeah.
Or do they miss the traditional flavors?
Exactly. And those individual experiences would provide much needed context.
I see.
Because ultimately, the value of any system, especially one like astrology, lies in its practical application.
Right.
How does it help people navigate their lives, make choices, or gain a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them?
It's like having a map, right? It's a helpful guide, but the real journey happens when you step outside and start exploring.
Beautifully put. And that's the invitation we extend to you today.
Okay.
We've walked you through the intriguing story of Joyy Bannerjii, his unusual background, his unique approach to KP astrology, and the potential impact of his teachings. Now it's your turn to dive deeper.
Yes. Check out the sources we've provided. Maybe even explore some of Bannerjii's work yourself.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, does this modern approach to an ancient system resonate with you? Does it spark a new sense of curiosity or understanding?
Because at the end of the day, the most important question isn't whether one approach is better than another.
True.
It's about finding the tools and perspectives that resonate with you on your personal journey of discovery.
So as we always say here on the Deep Dives, happy exploring, and let us know what you uncover.